Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Blender, finally, again. It has been more than an entire week, but I am mostly recovered from my sickness, and I am currently not swamped in college homework, so I will finally be able to get out another video. And some more, hopefully. I am already working on the next one. This one is relatively short because this honestly ended up being faster than I thought it would be. I am modeling a house. And for the two pictures I have, once again, got them off of stock websites. I am going to be modeling like a kind of tallish house. And I am just completely fumbling with loop cuts right now because I'm trying to make it like symmetrical. I just ended up eyeballing it. I'm sure it won't look too bad. It ended up not looking too bad. But this video specifically does not have a script. It doesn't have any of that. It is still a voiceover because I just usually listen to music, of course. So, but this is entirely improvised. But I just wanted to talk about where we're at with the brawl animation because I released a video earlier testing a walk animation. A walk cycle is just good practice with how the rig is going to function. I saw multiple problems, and of course, I don't know how to make physics for it still, but I'm planning to do that soonish. I'm planning to get some test like humanoid models so that I can like make release just a test animation where Brawl maybe might be some punching them so that I could fully test out the rig and how it's going to work with complex movements. But yeah, for now it's the house. I already cut the door, made out the plans for it, and now I'm going to add a boolean, which is a modifier that allows you to cut into the shape. Now, booleans are something you want to avoid usually because the polygons ends up becoming whack. And, well, I mean, you don't have to avoid it. If you're actually good at Blender, you can just use it. I am not good at Blender, and you're going to see multiple problems come out because of my lack of experience with loop cuts and all just not really functioning how I want it to because it's shifted away from quads. Quads is usually what you want to keep your models as, your topology. I didn't because it's not that important of a model, and it ended up working out just how I wanted it to, anyways. Right now, I'm just filling in all of the problems that I caused because otherwise the topology could be like looked inwards. Now, for this house specifically, I will not be making any of the insides, although I might, depending on some instances. For the main brawl animation, I'm planning for some buildings to be destroyed. At that point, I will texture and add props into the inside, but for now, I'm going to leave the windows and I'm probably going to make a door, but the windows can probably just be a flat plane with a texture on them to just give it the illusion like there's some sort of blinds over it. Adding some stairs to the front now. And next, we'll be working on the upper levels where we can add more of the shape I'm going for with the background images, where they're kind of like condensed housing. I'm not really sure what type of housing it is, but and I'm not even really sure if it's like all too medieval or old. I just kind of chose what I wanted to go for because it seems like just highly dense housing that I would probably see if I lived in a medieval city. We did try to build high, of course, and it's allowed us to, well, condense people more, allowing for easier travel between places in cities. And of course, homes were often shops as well. So that is kind of what I'm going for here. And I'm planning to model an entire castle at some point for the animation. That's going to be fun. But more specifically, I wanted to model something else as well. I've always wanted to model a dragon, like a good and a pretty cool looking dragon, and I feel like that's gonna quickly become a side series of mine because I really like dragons. Specifically for that, my brother wants a dragon for a video game, and the dragon's name is Apocalypse. There's lore on that, but I'm not going to be spoiling it. So I'll probably be trying to animate that. Now, he doesn't really have a description for what he looks like because he doesn't know how to draw it. He likes drawing stuff to really get his mind across, and, well, he doesn't really know how to draw dragons. So he won't be doing it. There I added the roof, and it's just a simple roof. It's going to be looking like a flat plane, but of course I'm going to be adding texturing later on with bump maps and everything to give it that shingle look from a distance, which is going to look pretty good in my infinite foresight. I have no idea if it's actually going to turn out well at all. I use the Boolean again to give it some more windows. Since I've applied the mirror modifier, I can add non-mirrored windows to give it more of a normal look, I guess you could say. Then, of course, I start cutting out the knife tool to add a tiny balcony, because I wanted to add a tiny balcony alongside posts and wooden beams across the entire house, which give it more depth and more built look, I guess. Honestly, I have no idea how to get my thoughts across when it comes to why I do what, so I am trying my best here. The balcony itself is small. It's just a simple balcony that you usually have just to get some fresh air or look down. Now this door caused me a lot of problems. Because obviously you need a door to get out to the balcony. Otherwise, I mean, like, why is it there? But I just fumble this over and over again. Because if I delete these vertexes, it just deletes the entire face, and I can't dissolve it, and I just didn't really know what to do. So at the end of the day, I just said, whatever, it doesn't have to be perfect. Let's cut a Boolean through it. I don't recommend what I'm doing, because it's probably the wrong way. Probably could have used snapping to get a better look, but there is the Boolean. And, you know, it's a pretty good doorway. But, yeah. Back to, like, what I want to model into the future. I think a lot of future videos will be me practicing animation with Brawl. I need some human models. Some base models that I can attach clothes to, change them around. Just some base human models just to go from there. And then, of course, I'm gonna need some Goliath models from Dungeons and Dragons, which I'm probably gonna have to model myself as well. I've always wanted to model dwarfs as well. Those will be fun. And I think in the future there's going to be some heavy ballista models, so you can look forward to that. And more specifically, I need a flesh golem, also from Dungeons and Dragons, because flesh golems were present in the siege, in which the Brawl animation will be based around. I cannot absolutely wait to show it off in its final form. It's always been a dream of mine to finally get ahead with 3D animation in full. Even if I'm currently studying to be an engineer, probably not the best play in today's current job market, but I still like engineering with all my heart. But I always wanted to be a 3D animator as well, ever since I saw some amazing 3D animations. Specifically Astartes, the 40K fan animation, just made me want to go full into 3D modeling. Unfortunately, I was small at the time, and I didn't really know what I was doing. But now I'm here, and I'm going through with it finally. And it's why I created this YouTube channel, to give myself discipline and motivation, just to have something to track my progress. I am adding the wooden beams now to give it the more like stabilized or reinforced look. I think it's going to look great when it's textured. I'm going to be making some variations of the housing, and I think specifically next video will either be a animation update or it will be a texturing of the house. Or it might be a ballista if my ADHD kicks in and I don't know what I'm doing. But with that, we should be nearing the close after I add the railings to the house. And of course, by railing, I mean a giant slab of wood because I don't want to model individual railings right now. That sounds really annoying. Call me lazy. That's because it is. And I really don't want to do that. But I am here to say that I am not dead. I promise I was just sick and swamped in homework, which is always not a fun combination. But that is about all I have to say for today, so I will just continue to comment until we reach the end, which we are very much nearing. I had the support beams right there, and those are just going to be simple wood that I'm going to texture in. And you can see me trying to think about the whole railing situation. I just ended up going with this, and this looks good enough. It's not too, like, how do I put this? Not very there, I guess, but it's still pretty good. And I mean, it looks great. In my opinion, the house turned out amazing. And here I add a chimney to the end, just to give the roof a little bit more flair. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to add a cobblestone texture to the chimney, although I'm not sure. I'll have to look at chimneys and what they actually look like to really decide how I want it to look. But other than that, this is the finished design. I want to thank you all for watching the video. I want to thank you all for keeping track with me so far. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you.